If you came over to my X account, if some of you, those of you who do, good on you. This is not going to be a short video. This is going to probably be longer than 3 minutes, more than like 5 minutes or 10. But I wanted to talk about this. Now, you chances are you saw me repost Tiffany Fong's notice that there were going to be 100% tariffs for films produced outside of America. Donald Trump has made it so. I read the whole thing from his True Social. Now, I'll walk you through most of this. I'm not going to read everything here because it would take too long. I asked Grok 3, everyone, the AI, who would be paying the 100% tariffs for movies filmed overseas? The 100% tariffs on films overseas, as announced by President Donald Trump on May 4, 2025, would likely be paid by the entities imposing these films, importing these films into the United States, such as distributors, studios, or streaming platforms. Here's a breakdown of who would bear the costs. U.S.-based distributors, streaming platforms, you got Disney Plus, you got Paramount Plus, consumers potentially, foreign producers and co-productions. Key complexities and uncertainties, implementation challenges. Movies are considered intellectual property, not physical goods. So they're luxuries, like video games are luxuries, right? Same issue that Nintendo would have. So you have, what are physical goods like clothing and food and water. I guess like parts for car, like car parts, cars, yeah, cars parts and cars themselves. Scope of tariffs, it's unclear whether the tariffs would only apply to fully foreign produced films or else to U.S. studios shot overseas. Now that's the key, or also to U.S. studio films shot overseas. This ambiguity has caused confusion among industry executives as many American films rely on foreign locations for cost savings. Impact on U.S. companies. So the tariffs. So there's a lot of things that's going on here. How much it's going to cost? How much it's going to cost to shoot overseas versus doing green screen, or what is it that they have for those Star Wars now, like the CGI screens? It's not green screen or blue screen anymore. The announcement made via True Social lacks detailed implementation plans. In summary, U.S.-based importers like studios and distributors would primarily pay the tariffs, with potential cost increase affecting consumers or foreign partners. However, the policy's practical application remains unclear due to the nature of the films as intellectual property in the global production model of the industry. I said, here's me asking another question or making a statement. It doesn't seem like a practical plan since filming on location requires money to fly to those countries with tickets for passengers and equipment on top of those tariffs. Now, Grok says this. You're right. The proposed 100% tariffs on movies filmed overseas seem impractical for several reasons, especially when considering the costs of filming on location. Here's why. You got high baseline costs of overseas filming. So you have, let's see, Avengers, Doomsday, or Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, filmed in London. Foreign tax incentives offset such costs, because it's up to them to put the tax incentives, but how big a tax incentive? Or if the tariffs are too high, they just won't put any tax to spite Trump, like France, or did I have to dare say this stuff? Globalized film industry, U.S. 25 to 30% tax rebates, consumer impact, market dynamics, retaliation risks, as seen with China's April 2025. I'll talk about China in a bit. To cut quotas for American films, foreign markets could retaliate against U.S. tariffs with their own restrictions. So it's going to be a pissing match on a global scale, on a serious scale. In short, the tariffs would compound the already high costs of overseas filming, disrupt a globalized industry, and risk retaliatory measures, all while facing practical challenges in taxing intellectual property. The policy seems more symbolic than feasible, as it overlooks the economic and creative realities of modern filmmaking. Posts on X reflect similar skepticism, noting the confusion and potential for increased costs without clear benefits to the U.S. industry. I'm going to ask one more question of Grok. Okay. Trump was a billionaire. He understands most business transactions. Is it possible, moreover probable, there is an ulterior or hidden motive for placing this 100% tariff other than what he has already stated? I'm going to ask Grok and see what I get. Be helpful to move the keyboard. Given Donald Trump's background as a billionaire and experienced businessman, it's reasonable to consider whether his announcement of a 100% tariff on movies filmed overseas, made on May 4th, via True Social, might have motives beyond the stated goal of revitalizing the U.S. film industry. While the stated intent is to incentivize domestic production and address the perceived decline of Hollywood, several factors suggest the possibility or even probability of ulterior motives. Below, I explore those motives. Okay, so um, let's see. Let's see. Potential messaging motive using bold attention grabbing policies to appeal to his base. The 25%. Okay. Evidence is timing, second inauguration, delivery. Okay. Negative leverage in the trade talks, probable motive. Okay. Business career often involve using aggressive negotiating tactics, such as making bold demands to extract concessions. The 100% tariff could be a bargaining chip to pressure foreign governments that offer tax incentives for film production to renegotiate trade terms or reduce subsidies that fare U.S. studios. So it could be about other things. Evidence. Trump's first term saw similar tariff threats used to secure trade deals like USMCA. I think of the Merchant Marine Academy, though that's not it. The film tariff announcement coincides with other trade actions like tariffs on Canada and Mexico, suggesting a broader strategy to renegotiate economic relationships. China's retaliatory cut in U.S. film quotas in April 2025 indicates that film trade, because remember, I think China's going to ban American movies, aren't they going to do that? The film trade is already a geopolitical flashpoint, and Trump may be using tariffs to gain leverage in such disputes. Trump's deal-making experience suggests that he might propose an extreme policy, 100% tariffs to create room for compromise, such as lower tariffs or exemptions for certain countries in exchange for trade concessions. Okay. Motive, evidence. So, from what I'm seeing here, let's see, there's a support for domestic allies, probability assessment, likely. Trump's business background emphasizes strategic positioning, media manipulation, and negotiation tactics over straightforward policy executions. The Trump's practicalities, taxing intellectual property, disrupting globalized production, and risking retaliation suggest it's not solely about reviving Hollywood. His announcement, vagueness, and reliance on true social supply are further on optics to leverage rather than a fully fleshed out economic plan with no definitive evidence. Makes it probable that the tariff serves broader political or strategic goals. Okay. In conclusion, while Trump's stated goal is to boost domestic film production, his business acumen and political history make it highly probable that the tariff serves additional purposes, most likely political messaging and trade negotiation leverage, with personal or economic distractions as secondary possibilities. I will say that, let's get us focused so you can see the conclusion there. I will say that it's when we raised the tariffs on China, China fucked us over and killed a lot of Americans, killed a lot of people around the world 5 years ago. Okay, I lost a good acquaintance in Gina's Pizzeria. Okay, the guy who ran the pizza place for Gina's Pizzeria had passed away, and his wife and their family sold the pizza place to somebody else. Now it's just something else. It's very empty. I believe his name was Enrique, and I kind of missed the guy, but he was getting sick, and the COVID made it worse. He would have lived another few years. There were a lot of good people who died. So yeah, giving China a hard time with the tariffs, I was never against. And I want to make it clear, I am not against voting. I do not regret voting for Trump. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and Biden, Obama, they can all go fuck off, honestly. You have to remember that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer were implementing tariffs or proposing tariffs. Trump deported 60,000 people compared to Bill Clinton. That's nothing. In only 100 and something days, he only deported 60,000 people. Okay, he may be tougher about what he's doing, but everybody's, the pot versus the kettle, right? When I saw the announcement, I thought, he's crazy. The James Bond movies, the Star Wars movies. I mean, Star Wars, when they shot Tatooine, that was in Tunisia, right? There were different places where they shot on location. So I can't believe for even a moment that you're going to punish filmmakers' creativity by making them by charging them a heavy penalty, not only on the directors but the producers for making films overseas. If they were trying to move the production companies and the offices overseas, I could understand tariffs, but even 100% seems like it's excessive. So there's ulterior motives. Obviously, leave your comments below if what you think that ulterior motive is. But I don't regret who I voted for. Watching and listening to, because I want to be unlike the left. I want to prove to people that I can watch the opposition's uncensored speech. I watched Kamala Harris's speech on Thursday, so the full 16 minutes, and nothing she said or did made me believe that she was going to do anything for anybody but herself. Okay? And those were not normal people clapping for her. Those were rich people with money clapping for her. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Anyway, that's it. A few more videos to post.